Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Trellis and Trails Homestead. I'm Jacqueline. If you're new here, thanks for joining. We're just wrapping up our week 2 pantry challenge. And if you're not new here, thanks for coming back for week 2. Week 2 looks a little similar to week 1. If you saw my week 1 of the pantry challenge, you'll know that week 1 was a short week. So we had limited meals during the week. I only showed, I think, 3 meals potentially. This week was a little similar, and not because it was a short week, because it was quite a weird week. I have been dealing with some really significant neurological issues for the last 6 months, including some extreme dizziness, vestibular imbalance, vestibular migraines, trigeminal neuralgia on the right side of my face, which is kind of a problem today. I'm filming this little wrap up on Sunday, so after week 2 pantry challenge, and at the beginning of the week last week, on Monday, I got some results back from an MRA scan similar to an MRI, and those results were absolutely 1000% not what I expected to get. I didn't think there was going to be anything as a result of that scan. I really wasn't worried about it, and it showed a very, very small brain aneurysm. I know that sounds really scary, and it was scary for me at first too, and after talking with several people, my neurologist is on board, and trying to do some research on my own as well. It seems that it's really no cause for concern right now, and it will be monitored yearly with more scans and additional imaging, and my neurologist is going to keep on top of it. And I feel certain that she will, and if not, I'll keep on top of her to make sure that she stays on top of it. I will be that annoying patient. I don't want to be, and I don't like being that, but I will be if I have to be. So anyways, I'll see her again in a few weeks and kind of get some clarification on everything. But what I have gathered so far, it seems that it is not causing any of my other vestibular issues or neurological issues. The migraines that I've had for 10 years now. They've just kind of worsened over time. But we're getting treatment for that. I'm working through some things and trying to figure out the best plan for those, and hopefully that will get better. So that happened in the beginning of the week. I spent the entire week with a severe migraine. One of the worst migraines I've had in a long time that has lasted for as long as it did. It lasted for about 5 days, actually, until yesterday, when I ended up going to urgent care yesterday morning just for a Toradol shot, just some medication to help with the migraine. I had exhausted all of the meds that I had at home to take. There was nothing else that I could do at home on my own. I had been doing electrolyte water, stretching, my Cephally device, which is a external trigeminal nerve stimulator. I had done every single thing that I could possibly do at home, and it was just not letting up at all. So went to urgent care, got that taken care of, and I'm feeling so much better today. Like I said, just my nerve pain is sort of a problem today, but that kind of is a problem off and on. It comes and goes, and there's not really a whole lot I can do for that either. Hopefully it'll be very short-lived this time and won't give me a problem all week. I'm hoping for a much better week this week than what last week was, because it just really threw me for a loop. A whirlwind of a week, a whirlwind of the last 6 months is what this has been. And it's just really exhausting after a while to be dealing with all of these very non-specific things, non-specific symptoms that I know is related to migraines and some other neurological stuff. But then to just get one more super out of nowhere weird diagnosis on top of that, yeah, it just really caught me off guard, really threw me for a loop, and not how I wanted to spend last week. Not how I wanted to go into 2025 either. So I made it through Pantry Challenge Week 2 the best that I could. Started off with a couple of good meals, and then as the week went on and I was dealing with the migraine, things just kind of slacked off with the meals from then. We still were eating things at home, mostly just a bunch of leftovers though. So again, similar to week 1, we only ended up cooking, I think, 3 or 4 meals. I have them all filmed, and I will include those after the little introduction here. But we definitely ordered pizza on Monday night, the night that I got those MRA results. Because I just couldn't think about anything else. I couldn't think about food, I couldn't think about eating, I couldn't think about cooking. So pizza it was. I was trying to avoid ordering any kind of food or really eating out. But you know, sometimes things just happen the way that they happen. And so pizza delivery it was for Monday night. And then Saturday when we were coming back from urgent care, it was close to lunchtime. So we ended up stopping at Jimmy John's on the way back home and just picked up like a wrap for lunch, and then we cooked on Saturday night. So 2 meals out, I would say, the pizza delivery and the Jimmy John's, and those are not things that we typically do. So I feel like this week was just a grace week and I can get by with that, and it was totally okay. And then hopefully going forward, we can continue on being real strong with the pantry challenge stuff. So I ordered groceries at the end of week 1. I'm counting those for week 2 because I think it was Saturday of the end of week 1. So those were week 2 groceries, and I actually just need to calculate exactly what I spent on those really quick. So for week 2 groceries, definitely more than I had planned to spend. We spent $94.04. But a lot of that included some stock up things that we actually ran out of this last week. One of those is salt. We completely ran out of salt in our house, which is like very bizarre. That's kind of an amateur pantry challenge move. I should have realized before I started the pantry challenge that we were very low on salt. I thought that we had some more in our cabinet, and we definitely didn't. So we just had to get a restock of salt, and we only bought a small one. So I'm sure that we'll have to buy more during the pantry challenge, and I'll probably just get like a bigger bag that will last us for a lot longer. I usually like to buy the pink Himalayan salt or something like that just for our salt grinder. So we got some of that. My husband also picked up some coffee for himself for the week or so. And then we picked up, I really like the hot chocolate packets at Target, the Target brand, the Good and Gather. And sometimes I don't really drink coffee very often. And so sometimes I just use the hot chocolate sort of as a substitute for coffee. Not all the time, but sometimes in the morning or sometimes in the evening, whatever. And because I don't go to Target very often, I usually just like to get a few boxes at a time so that I have it for a good long while. So we ended up picking 3 boxes of those up, and that should last us probably throughout the rest of the pantry challenge. So that costed a little bit. And then of course dairy. I feel like dairy always costs a lot, creamer and things like that. I did have to restock on some of my vitamins. I did not include that in the grocery purchase because I feel like that's kind of separate in kind of my idea and goals of the pantry challenge. So I had to purchase some more of those, and they were like $30. So that's not included in the $94. And then otherwise, I had a little clip that I will show you of the actual food type groceries that we got at the beginning of the week. I think we got a couple of other small things at Target, but mostly the food is in the clip that you'll see. And we do usually shop at Safeway, and I feel like Safeway is definitely more expensive than groceries elsewhere at some other stores. But it's just close to me, it's convenient, and also I usually do grocery delivery. In the last 6 months at least, I've been doing a lot of grocery delivery instead of going to the grocery store, and that has worked well for me. So I've just been using Safeway, and I know there's cheaper grocery stores out there, and I could get these items for a lot less than what I spent on them. But my Safeway order for the groceries that you'll see was $44.02. And then the remaining $50 was just kind of random stuff here and there. So I was really planning to keep my grocery budget under $50 per week. And I think going forward, I can do that. I did purchase this week the Wild Alaskan seafood box, one of the membership boxes for seafood. I told you guys I was probably going to do that. That was sort of already accounted for in a way. Like I had already planned to purchase that box. And then you guys know about my Good Ranchers subscription box too for chicken. I will keep that up, and it's gonna renew here in a couple of weeks. So I'm not considering those in like full grocery costs probably. I don't know. We'll see if I decide to pop it on the screen or not in the next video, because I'll probably just wait until I actually get it to include it for like that week or whatever. But anyways, I think that we can keep our grocery budget low. That also doesn't include the $27 I think we spent at Jimmy John's yesterday. And then the pizza was $46, but that included delivery. So definitely a higher spending food week than normal. And I think it was just like the convenience, being not well, and then sort of restocking on some of the things that we had run out of. So that's kind of a wrap up for week 2. I will show you guys all of the meals here in just a moment. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, like this video. Make sure to tune in for week 3. I'm hoping to be able to post these like weekly wrap-ups on Sundays every week and start the week from Sunday to Saturday for Pantry Challenge. So today is starting a new week, and it's just me here today, so I think that I will have some leftovers again. You guys know this may be not a super realistic pantry challenge for you if you have a big family, because we do eat a lot of leftovers with it just being the 2 of us. Or it may be very realistic if it's also, just 2 of you that you're cooking for. You may not be cooking a new meal every single night for dinner. So you may not see a lot of breakfast or lunches throughout my pantry challenge weeks, and that's because we're eating leftovers or just something easy and convenient that we have at home. But for dinners, we usually try to make something, and if we're not making something, it's because we're either working or if there's just one of us here, there's not really a reason to cook a whole meal, so we may just have leftovers. So that's kind of the wrap up for that, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that you're gonna enjoy these. Again, I plan to do the pantry challenge throughout the month of February as well, January and February, for 2 full months of pantry challenge, and I think that we will succeed in that. I'm looking forward to it. As long as things aren't a weird week like they were this week or last week, I think we can make it and get through a lot of our pantry stock and do really well. So heading into week 2, these are some of the groceries that I got at the beginning of the week. I know this doesn't look like $46 worth, and like I said, Safeway is expensive, but also eggs are really expensive right now with the whole bird flu stuff going around. So I think these eggs were like $10. The protein yogurts and the Chobani drinks, they are higher protein, and they always cost a little bit more. And then I got some of those beef sticks that are also not very cheap. So that's why this was as much as it was. I got a couple of fresh produce items, the chickpeas that I ran out of and needed for this week because I was going to make a chickpea salad. And then some pita breads to go along with those, or to make pita pizzas or anything like that. So Sunday for like brunch, I ended up having a bacon, egg, and cheese on homemade sourdough. I added some sriracha to the top and some green onions just from our garden onions that have been out in the garage curing. They're definitely cured by now. But I just used some of the green onion tops as, a topping for this. And it was so good. I love a good bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and this one was delicious. I think this was the very last of our sourdough from the previous week. So I needed to make some more. I actually ended up making some focaccia. I didn't film it, but I made focaccia for week 2, going into week 2. And I made it spicy. I did a spicy chili oil, red pepper flakes, some jalapeno, some bell pepper, onion, garlic, salt, and it was probably one of my favorite focaccias I've ever made. So that's what we ended up having as like our bread for the week. So for tonight's dinner, we are having a garlic butter chicken. I just have some spaghetti noodles here with chicken that was coated in paprika, salt, pepper, garlic, I think that was it, just seared up, and we've got some cherry tomatoes and some Parmesan cheese. I put a little bit of lemon juice, some garlic, Expressions olive oil, and just some grass-fed butter for like a sauce. And this is Pantry Challenge dinner for week 2. That pasta was so good. It's definitely a recipe that I will make again. It was loosely a recipe. I kind of just added other things to it too. We skipped Monday night and Tuesday. Monday, with everything going on, I told you guys we had pizza for dinner. And then on Tuesday, I basically just had leftovers. But on Wednesday, I made a pot of chili, and this was just definitely a meal that we needed on this cold day. I ended up working that night and had chili again, and then we just had a ton of leftover chili. So on Thursday night, we made these baked potatoes, also with chili on them, and some home canned peppers, and some onion, sour cream, cheese, and some dilly beans. This meal was also so good and so easy. That's the thing with Pantry Challenge too, is that it doesn't have to be complicated, and you can really multi-purpose your leftovers. So Friday night was skipped because that was a leftover day as well, but on Saturday night we had this delicious dinner. Sweet potato gnocchi from Trader Joe's. We added some of the spicy mango chicken sausage, which was so good, and then some rutabagas from the freezer, from the garden, as well as some homegrown peppers, and this dinner turned out absolutely delicious. A little moment for the cat, who always likes to be in the kitchen when I'm trying to do things, but she's sweet. So here's our dinner all plated up on Saturday night, and if I had to pick a favorite meal from the week, I don't know if I would choose this or the pasta at the beginning of the week. They were both so good, but again, just a really easy week. Let me know in the comments below, what did you guys have for Pantry Challenge Week 2, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!